Hi, guys. Welcome back to another edition of Chats from the Blog Cabin. As you know, it's Women Empowerment Month, Women's History Month. So every day I'm coming to you with a new episode. And today I'm so excited to be joined by these two sisters who've been on the show before. But before we get into that, let me do with my quote. And the quote says, "You only live once, but if you don't do it right, but if you do it right, once is enough." And it's by Mae West. And I kind of figured, since we're talking about food and we're talking about everything Simone and Noelle, that this was the perfect quote for today. So welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. And so for those that don't remember, Simone was actually on at the beginning of the month and did a simple, easy dinner for the family. And today the sisters are teaming up to do a lunch and learn charcuterie boards. They're going to show us how to make one for a whole bunch of people and then how to make like a single serving. Correct?
That's
Absolutely.
right.
All right, guys. So
How about it?
have at it. That's right.
All right. So for anybody that doesn't know us, I'm Noelle and this is Simone. We are the Sassool sisters. We have been working with my dad for at least 17 years, forever and a day. I've never worked anywhere else. Simone has had a few other jobs while she was in college.
While I was also working with my dad.
Right, exactly. But lately we've been doing a lot of these charcuterie boards. It's something that like we both love doing at our own houses. And so when the idea was brought up to do some for Sassool, we definitely jumped on it. We love the idea, and we love the idea of being able to share those boards with our customers and with our friends.
Mm-hmm. And what's really cool is that the reason that these boards kind of became something that we kept repeating at Sassool. We've done it now for Thanksgiving boards. We've done a Christmas board. We did a Valentine's board. We even did one for a fundraiser we were part of, the Polka Dot Mama Gala, because a lot of the components that we've used for these boards, we find them in our market section. So we were so familiar with these items, but then when we sat down to kind of plan that very first board that we did, it was crazy because we didn't have to go to the store but for maybe one thing. Right. So we found it all in the Sassool market section, and as we compose this board, we'll kind of both be talking about the actual ingredients that are going on the board, so that if you do wish to come to Sassool and find those ingredients, then you'll know a little more about them. So we'll get started on we're going to do the big board first. And there is a little bit of method to the madness as far as creating these boards, because I'm sure you see them all over social media, and they look so beautiful always.
Yes, and it's comprised of many different steps. So the first step with any board is going to be put your biggest items down first.
You call them the anchors.
Yes, they're the anchors of your board. So Simone, I'll let you get started. Simone's done a lot of prep for this board. I just kind of rolled in the door.
Okay. So first thing, we're doing jalapeno hummus. It's always nice to have a dip on your board. And we'll actually be showing you a few dips that you put on your board. But of course, I am sticking with the green hummus as our very first thing to kick things off. Yeah. Another item that we're putting on there is called ajvar. So Noelle, show them that
so
item.
This is ajvar. It's a vegetable spread. It's made with roasted red bell pepper, eggplants, and it's vegan. It's gluten-free. It's amazing. It's so good.
Yeah. We also have our baba ganoush. So that's going in there. And you'll notice that there's different sizes. So I have an 8 ounce and then a 4 ounce. It doesn't really matter what size. We're doing it more just to change up the visual presentation so that it looks nice. Another large anchor that we're putting down is chickpea salad. And then lastly, we're putting our blocks of cheese. So you put blocks of cheese before you put slices and cubes. So first cheese is called kashkaval. It's like more of a hard cheese. It is a little bit pungent. In my last cooking class, we did shrimp and grits with shredded kashkaval, which was excellent. And it is from Egypt. And then we also have Armenian string cheese, which this is the braid before it actually gets
before you shred it. And then one other dip that we're going to show you guys how to make, and this is one of my personal favorite that I always do when I'm making a board, is a mixture of labna and jam. And so
why don't you show us that?
Yes, absolutely. So you're going to get a ramekin or bowl. It just depends on how much you guys want to do. Then we're using Lubna today, which is just a Greek yogurt, but you can use, you know, different creamy cheeses, mascarpone, cream cheese, anything like that is going to work. You're going to want it to have a kind of like mild flavor. It's basically like a base for the jam, and then they mix together really well. So I'm just doing like a big scoop, and then I've got my jam. So I chose blackberry because that's one of my favorites.
Blackberry tastes really nice with the yogurt too.
Yeah, super good.
Yeah.
And then again, just a big scoop, and I put that in my ramekin like that. And then all you're gonna do is you're just gonna incorporate those just a little bit. I like to keep them, I don't like to fully mix it. I like to kind of keep it so that you can taste both flavors when you use this dip. And there's no rules with this, you know. If you guys want it fully mixed, go for it. But yeah, I just mixed it just a little bit. So when you're scooping with it, whether it's on a cracker or a vegetable or whatever, you can even put it on meat is really good. If you guys, we're not using like prosciutto or sliced salami because we wanted to stay with the items we had in our grocery section. But that's very popular when making snack boards, obviously. So this is going to be excellent if you put it on some of the sliced sausage or meat. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah. Yep. And I love the way Noelle kind of half mixes it because it leaves it interesting to the eyes. Yes. And people, you know, they're more enticed to be like, oh, let me dip in this stuff, you know, right. if they think it looks so cool.
And that's going to make your snack board more successful is if you're very intentional about like the cuts that you're doing on the vegetables or the different textures that you're using on the boards. You want to use different looking textures, items, you know, like how Simone has the block of cheese and then we're going to have the slices of cheese. Make it more visually appealing.
That's right. Yeah. So actually the next thing we're going to do, now that we have the blocks of cheese down, we're going to put the slices. While I kind of lay the slices out, I'm going to have Noelle show you guys how to roll feta in za'atar. So we're showing you a few things that kind of just elevate your board just a little bit. So you could definitely put feta cubes on your board and it would be great. But would your guests expect it to be rolled in some awesome herbs? Probably not. And they would be very, very enticed to try it and very pleased with what it actually tastes like. So this is something we do for our catering platters. And we're going to show you how to use both za'atar and feta.
Yes. Something that you can do on cheese boards is, you know, mixing the flavors. You can enjoy all of these things separately, but it gets really good when you start mixing them together. So what I'm doing right now is I'm taking the cubes of feta that we've pre-cut for you today. They're just like 1 inch by 1 inch. And this is our za'atar spice. So za'atar is a spice blend of thyme, sumac, oregano, and sesame seeds. And I'm just rolling the feta cubes into the za'atar. And you don't have to do it one by one. You can, you know, put a whole bunch down on the plate and then kind of sprinkle the za'atar spice over them. And that's what we do when we're making a huge catering because we want to be efficient.
Yeah. And plus, it's easier. We're not here to give you a headache.
Yeah.
You know, this boards, like creating the board, should be a very simple process. And it should actually be the opposite of a headache. It should be a stress relief.
Yes.
And I think Noelle can actually tell you because her method of putting a board together in her regular everyday life actually speaks to this.
Yeah, so I make a lot of snack boards towards the end of the week. I have Sunday, Mondays off, so I typically go grocery shopping on one of those days. So Friday, Saturday, it's, you know, the end of my week. I get home and there's nothing to cook. Like all the meals have been made already. So in my fridge, there'll be a lot of odds and ends, you know, whether just like leftovers from Sassool or leftovers from throughout the week, or just like jars of pickles, some olives, some hummus, whatever. And so towards the end of the week, I will make snack boards out of just what I have in my refrigerator to use it up, clean it out. And it really just turns into being this excellent meal.
Yeah, I love that. And same thing kind of, I've been doing a lot of food videos lately, trying to populate my YouTube channel with lots of content. So if you open my fridge midweek, you will see so many small containers of garnishes, of olives, of kind of the same idea as what Noelle was saying. And I take all the odds and ends and then I make it into a beautiful snack board that my husband and I, like on Saturdays, we'll have a movie night. And so I take all my odds and ends and arrange it on a board. It looks awesome. And he thinks that I intentionally put it together. Nope. I was just cleaning out the fridge.
Yeah. And that's something you can do, you know, for kids, especially. Kids love snack boards, and they don't have to be the same thing that you make for adults. I'm sure if you have kids, you have all kinds of like random snacks, you know, in your house, like peanut butter, jelly,
string cheese,
like, just present it, put it on a board, make it a little different. Your kids are gonna go crazy over it.
Yeah.
And it's the same snacks you already had for them that they didn't want to eat.
Exactly. And the fact that, especially for kids, but also for adults, we love eating with our hands. Some people don't want to admit it, but we love eating with our hands. And of course kids do. And that's why it makes it so enticing for kids to be offered a board, you know, whatever may be on the board, and they can grab at it. And it's this one moment, you know, where they don't have to use a fork and a spoon and they still eat their full meal. But truthfully enough, same thing with grown-ups. When we're all having a dinner party together, and that board is there and it's kind of this communal snacking, it's so fun. And it also is a lot like Lebanese mezza, which is why it resonates with us a lot, because in Lebanon, mezza is so popular. It's this extended appetizer hours, you know, several hours. Yeah, several hours. Let's say 3 hours of just eating appetizers. This is kind of the same thing, but done on
one board together. In Lebanon, they'll bring out like courses of appetizers. So, you know, they'll bring out 5 things. And then once you finish that, you think the meal's over. No. They bring out 5 more, then 5 more. And then there's dessert. And this is kind of taking those 15 things that maybe you would have eaten over the course of several hours and putting them all on one board together.
So less dishes and makes your life a lot easier, and you still get the same product out of it.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to take the rolled feta. I'm going to arrange it here. And one thing to keep in mind is your slices and cubes, you're going to want to kind of center them around your anchors, because in the end, the last step is we put in what we call fill-ins. But you don't know where those fill-ins need to go until you kind of
put all your anchors in and all your big items. So you want to make sure that you have enough room on your board for all the big items. So that's what we're doing right now. And with Simone, she's put the feta rolled in za'atar down, and I would say, you know, just put a few cubes of the unrolled in there as well to break up the color and just make it more visually interesting.
Now, Noelle, the next thing we're doing is we're going to add the crackers / bread. So we have these rice crackers that we have in our market section. They come in a couple different flavors.
Yeah, we've got garden kale here.
Jalapeno cheddar here. There's a salt and pepper one as well. But if you want to arrange the crackers, I'm going to arrange the pita wedges. So I've taken the regular bags of the Neiman pita bread that we offer in our market section and cut them into 8s, which is a great like dipping size. It's just a great personal size. So I'm going to arrange that here on the edge of the hummus, like this.
Now they can also get the pita bread freshly made as well from Sassool, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
That's the best with the jalapeno hummus.
Yep. We offer that complimentary for anyone who orders anything at the restaurant. So yeah, it's a great idea to use the fresh pita, but I think my dad would definitely make sure that I mention, if you take the pita home and you want to use it, you know, let's say an hour, 2 hours after you get it from our oven fresh, you're going to want to press the air out of that pita bread so that it stops internally cooking, and wrap it in like either a plastic bag or plastic wrap to keep it soft until you want to actually use it on your board. So just keep that in mind with our fresh pita. It's a little fragile.
And what I'm doing right now is I'm just adding in some different kind of crackers. These are our multi-seed toasted flatbread that we have in our grocery section. And they come in really big chunks. So if you put that on the board, it's going to take up a lot of room and also like not look that interesting, I don't think. So I'm just breaking them up into more bite-sized pieces and shapes. and putting them in there with the rest of the crackers.
Yep.
All right.
Now what we're going to do is we're still putting a few large items. We're not down to the little fill-ins yet. But as you can see, the board is starting to populate. It's starting to be more full and starting to look good. So we have roasted carrots as well as grape leaves. There we go.
Yep.
And we're going to fill those in. And it's great because every component on this board can be used as a dipper. Like the grape leaves, you can dip those in the dips.
Exactly.
You can eat them by themselves as well. And that really applies to everything you have on the board. That's what's fun about it. Is that there's no rules and everything tastes good together.
Yeah. This is just an opportunity to have fun and also make something really delicious that looks very visually stunning as well.
Yep.
And Simone is adding some sliced cucumbers right now.
Yes.
Cucumbers is a favorite in our family. Of course, we buy so many cucumbers. But, other vegetables, of course, that you can put on your board, carrots, celery. I've even brought a few of these little tiny bell peppers. I bought these at Lidl. But I think you can find them pretty much at any grocery store. They're not spicy. They're just like bell pepper. And they come in a bag with a bunch of different colors. So I love having these in my refrigerator at home just to add a pop. And then you can also cook with them as well. Me and my boyfriend made chana masala yesterday. And we put this in the chana masala. So it's very, very good. I'm going to stick these on the board.
Yeah, definitely. And not everything on your board has to be consumed. So something like the peppers, of course, someone can absolutely take it and chomp on it and love it. That's great. Mm-hmm. But you can also put things for a color pop on the board that you don't actually need them to eat.
Yeah, you can absolutely use garnish. I think on my last snack board, I put celery stalks on the snack board.
Yeah, that one looked really good.
Thank you. The top of the celery stalks that has like those like little leafy looking things, those are great for garnish. And nobody's going to eat them, but it makes the board look, so cute. And
and it doesn't hurt the food it's next to. It's not like something that's not edible. It's totally edible.
Exactly.
Okay, so the next component we're going to put a little bit of the cornichons, the very small,
little small pickles.
And then I also have some cracked green spicy olives, which you can find in our market section as well.
Yeah, and pickled vegetables, pickled olives, pickled radish, pickled anything. It's really good to put on boards. It gives that kind of different flavor. I think a lot of people do raw vegetables, cheese, and crackers. Maybe hummus are like the most common things that you put on boards. But this will give a nice tangy flavor to add into just your normal items. And again, with the mixing and matching, you can eat this with a bite of cheese and it's so good. So good.
Exactly. Okay, the last thing, I have some dried apricots I'm going to be putting on the edge next to the cheese. It's kind of going to act as a barrier so that these cubes of cheese don't fall off. And then we will move on to the fill-ins.
Yes.
And for fill-ins, I always go to seeds and nuts, just because they can be aggregated on your board in like little clusters, and it's easy to do that. And there's no liquid where it's going to be running anywhere. But the nature of your fill-ins, you're trying to fill in these little holes just to make everything look super beautiful.
Yes.
So the seeds and nuts, I think, are the best. And even like blueberries. I know you brought blueberries today. All of that works really, really well. So let's see what some of the fill-ins that we're going to be putting.
Awesome. So some of the things that we got are roasted salted cashews, which I think is a big favorite in our family.
Yeah.
Then this is, what's it called? Mixed nut snack. I've seen this have a few different names. I've seen it called Cree. I've seen it's called mixed nut, a panda snack. But what it is peanuts covered in a cracker outside.
Some of them have a little bit of sesame seed. I really love using these because it's just one other color element.
Yeah. So we keep mentioning color, like the things like the bright green of the apple or the orange of the apricot. the color pop of the carrots. Make sure when you're building boards to always think about color. You don't just want a bunch of like white cheese or like neutral colors. You want to really make sure to be intentional about getting that color pop in there.
Yes, and I think even if you do have the convenience of planning ahead of time, so we've talked about just grabbing things from your fridge, but if you do actually plan out your board ahead of time, think about those colors. And if maybe you have everything white and green, and then you start saying, okay, I'm going to have, I'm going to add some celery for the crudité portion of it. Well, no, why don't you go to a carrot, or let's go to some cherry tomato. It gives you, being able to plan ahead of time does give you that luxury of thinking about the colors. So that way, when your board ends up on Instagram, because your friends love it so much and they want to put it on their story, it is going to look that much extra special.
Yes. And I just added banana chips into this ramekin here. It looked empty and lonely, so I thought I might as well put some banana chips in there. And now I'm putting some fresh blueberries next to this white cheese. Now, if they spill kind of into your ramekins or anything like that, that's totally good.
It looks even better. It looks like organically made. That organic type of distribution in the picture that we're talking about, it's going to look excellent. Like even the mixed nut snack, that little peanut with the cracker coating, it's kind of going into the block of cheese. This is all really, really good. And it gives you also a little bit of leniency. If you're rushing, and things kind of go a little bit everywhere, take a breath. Don't worry. This is good. This is good for the end product.
Yes. So I think at this point we've put all of our major components on the board, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So this is where most people would finish a charcuterie board or a snack board, is just, they have everything on there. Now, I challenge you to take it a step further. So what I really like doing at my house is actually seasoning the board. So I have some black peppercorns here that I am just going to crush all over the boards. So this is going to really bring out the flavors and really also give your mouth like some excitement, I guess.
Yeah.
You
don't expect it.
Right. You're going to bite into a cucumber or bite a piece of cheese and like taste that black pepper and just be like, whoa.
Yeah.
And it'll just be like an explosion of flavor. Right here I have salt-free garlic and herb seasoning.
Nice.
I think be a little careful about just putting like how much salt you're putting on the board, because that can get overwhelming.
Yeah.
So right now I'm just seasoning the board with this garlic and herb seasoning. And don't be shy. We really have like so much on here that even though we're putting, spices, it's not going to be like a lot on one bite. It'll just be a little bit.
Yeah.
I have my favorite. I brought this from home. This is sriracha. You won't find this at the Sassool grocery section, but
you can find harissa though if you want to substitute it for harissa.
Yeah. So I like to just put sriracha on random things. So I'm putting the sriracha on the roasted carrots. You can also put some, make it more of a garnish. I just put it on top of the kashkabal cheese, or maybe even in the middle of the jalapeno hummus to add a little bit extra for those that really, really like spice. Another trick that I like to use is Parmesan cheese or any kind of like sprinkling cheese. This is basically like another herb, so you can sprinkle that on top of your board. So it makes everything look really cohesive, and then just really, really visually stunning. And then the last thing, this is just olive oil. So olive oil, if you put your thumb on the top so that a bunch doesn't rush out.
Kind of like a garden hose.
Yeah. And you just drizzle a little bit on the board. It's going to, get on the fruits, on the vegetables, and then, of course, on the dips. And it'll be another flavor that just makes the board pop.
True Mediterranean style, putting olive oil on everything is always the way to go. And then I'm gonna take some fresh mint and just put that in the corners. And of course you can eat it with your cucumbers, with your cheese. But if not, it just visually looks awesome.
Yep. And then the last thing that I'm doing is just sprinkling some pepitas all over the board. Again, just to, break up the individual segments of food. and then just make it, really beautiful and have just the kind of random flavors throughout the whole board. So now, if we were at my house, this is what I would consider to be a finished snack board. Is you've got the anchors on there, you have the fill-ins, and then you season the board with olive oil, hot sauce, and spices.
And you can make your board super random, like we mentioned early on. That's kind of like the easiest stress-free way to do it, and it always comes out with a great looking board. Or if you have that time or want to be super kind of theme focused, you can make everything go right along with every other item. We've seen on social media, we've seen breakfast boards that are like the
Pancake
avocado
boards.
toast, pancakes, waffles, and the large components will be the waffles, and then
The syrup,
some
fruit,
some whipped cream to spread, things like that. But if you're going to be random. Look how beautiful it looks.
Can we get them a closer up or no?
Yes. Let me be strategic about this because we have the phone on a little. Okay. How do you guys look at this?
Now, how many people will that board feed?
I would say it probably feeds about 12 to 15.
That looks so good right now.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
it
is so
does.
good. This is something when we have parties at our house, we typically will start with a snack board, because in our family at least, nobody shows up at the same time. You tell people 5:00, but they come, rolling in. So everybody shows up hungry, but they know they're gonna have a big meal, so maybe they haven't, eaten very much that day, and they get there and they're starving. So at our family's house or at our house, we'll go ahead and have a snack board out, or just snacks, period. And so people aren't starving while they wait for the rest of the party to show up, or what they wait for the rest of the meal to finish cooking.
That's right. Now, let's show you guys. Well, Melissa, do you have any questions for us, I guess, so far?
Why is it that the charcuterie boards have become so popular? Because you see them all over the place now. Before you didn't see them, and you said it was like something that back in Lebanon, that's what you see all the time. So what do you think is so popular now?
Yeah, when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. It's like a board of mesa. Great. But no, you're so right. They have blown up. I would say one reason is because, of course, social media, but certain authors, like cookbook authors, bloggers, they have actually written cookbooks about boards, creating boards. I have 2 at my house that I always reference. And I think just having one, it being on social media and everyone starts to kind of go along with the trend. But then now there's also literature on it. And even restaurants serve boards as a menu item. So I think the combination of those 3 things really makes the trend stick.
Yeah.
And I think once people do them, they're like, oh, wait, this is the easiest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
So they keep doing it.
For myself, I don't really enjoy cooking. I'm not a great cook. So when I cook, it's more of like a struggle. And then, I make something and maybe it tastes good, but it doesn't look that great. Or maybe it looks great and doesn't taste that great. But this is so easy. It's guaranteed going to look great, taste great. And so I think it's also giving people that, are not chefs an opportunity to get creative in the kitchen.
Yeah, they can really shine.
Yeah, absolutely. Because really, we're just playing with textures, colors, and different ingredients. And, like we've been saying, they're easy to make. You can make them from just what you have in the fridge right now. And you throw it together and it looks like we're having a party.
That's right. You feel like you're having a party too. Like when you're eating it and enjoying it, it's so fun. The process of making this board a little less empty is so fun.
And I think the last thing is, obviously being in the pandemic, people have been looking for things to do that is socially distant or safe, but still creating special moments. So people have been doing a lot of stuff outside, picnics, and charcuterie boards or snack boards are so easy to bring with you. You can get like a big Tupperware and build this same thing in the Tupperware and just bring it with you to your picnic, and there you go. Absolutely. So I think, there are several these businesses now that you can order from. You can order snack
True,
boards from.
yep.
That actually started at the beginning of all of this, and then they've totally flourished. They've blown up.
Yep. So now we're going to show you how to downsize it. So this, of course, is for 12 to 15 people to snack on.
That's a party.
Yes, this is a party. And but I think all of us appreciate a night to ourselves,
right? Just
so that we can relax, we can decompress, we can watch a movie that we want to watch, you know. So that is where the personal board comes in. We also have a lot of busy professionals that work long hours, you know, and after your work day, maybe you don't have a family yet, or, you know, you don't have kids or anything, which is fine. But that means that you need a smaller board. You don't need that huge board that you can never finish.
Exactly.
So we're going to be using the same components, but you downsize everything and then create the board. So
some of the big anchors that Simone has on the large board, we are either going to do smaller versions of them, or we're just not going to put them on there. So like, for example, the cheese blocks that she has, that's going to take up like a quarter of this board. So space is very valuable on here. So, you know, we're going to put the slices of cheese or the strings of cheese, but we're not actually going to put like the actual block like she did on the large board.
Right, because as a individual person yourself, you will not be eating a block of cheese. Hopefully.
Maybe you will.
I don't know.
Maybe. Depends what happens.
No judgment. But likely you probably won't be eating an 8-ounce block of cheese. So like Noelle said, slices and cubes are the way to go.
Right.
Do you want to grab those small cups?
Yep.
So the larger anchors, like the chickpea salad and the ajvar, we've downsized them.
We have them here in smaller ramekins.
So that they're tasters. Great for just one person. We have 3 grape leaves instead of 8. That's going on there. The slices of kashkaval cheese. That's going on there. Then let's see, of course we have pita. We want to make sure we can dip. And a few apricots.
I just put a few crackers on there.
And it's not a big deal. It's just, it's like 3 of everything.
Something to keep in mind is you don't have to fit everything on the board. Like, you know, if I'm doing a snack board for dinner, there'll be some items on the board that are favorites, so they get eaten quicker than everything else, but you don't want to put like half the board, you know, full, or take all the room up on half the board with your favorite item. So like for me, I had a snack board last night and we had Ritz crackers on it, and the Ritz crackers went like that. So just keep like a roll of crackers or something to the side, and you can replenish the board as the favorites kind of, you know, get eaten.
And so easy as that, you just take the other components, you put it on that board, and it is ready for Noelle's seasonings.
So again, with the black pepper, the garlic and herb seasoning, the Parmesan cheese. That was a little heavy.
Never a bad thing.
It's okay, you're fine. Finishing with the drizzle of olive oil. Really, I encourage you guys to try it. Don't be scared of the olive oil. It's so good.
It is, yeah. It makes all of the flavors that you have going on more rich.
Exactly. And then my favorite, the sriracha. I'm just going to put a little bit here next to the grape leaves, and that we can use as a dip.
And there you go.
There you go.
There's our mini board. Here, I'll get it a little closer to the camera.
Yeah.
See, it's so cute. And maybe it's 1.5 servings, you know, and you can snack on that, drink a great glass of wine, watch your favorite show, and just have your evening the way you like.
Yeah. And you won't, you know, you can eat that and you're not going to feel like stuffed. You know, you can just enjoy it and not feel guilty. You got lots of raw veggies. You know, the ajvar dip is, it's a veggie dip. It's fully, you know, just vegetables mixed together.
Yeah, it's very healthy.
Your apple slices, cheese slices, a little chickpea salad. So it's very healthy. And, you know, again, we've made dessert boards that was just fully desserts. So it doesn't have to be healthy, of course.
No, it doesn't.
No.
But a lot of the components here that you'll find in our market section, we do have a lot of healthy components.
Yeah, Mediterranean diet, I think, has been voted the best diet for
Yeah.
last 5 years or something
for a
like that.
sustainable lifestyle.
Yeah.
But yeah, some other things that we haven't included here today that you can find in our grocery section are those pickled vegetables. So like we have marinated artichoke hearts, we have pickled cauliflower, turnips, bell pepper that comes all in a jar together. We have stuffed little eggplants that are stuffed with pine nuts, nuts, and spices, which are really cool that you can add that as like a super cool component on your board.
Yeah.
We have lots of different cheeses. And then you can go to our fresh case, you know, instead of getting chickpea salad, you can get any of the dips. You could get tabbouleh, you could, you know, anything.
Anything you want. And something that I encourage you to do is, you know, whether you're coming to Sassool or you're going to another kind of grocery store, you know, I know both of us, we like checking out different cuisines. So like going to an Asian grocery store and just seeing what they have, seeing stuff that looks interesting. Maybe you don't know how to use it in Asian, like you don't know how to do Asian cooking, but you could use it as a component on a snack board. So it's creating that kind of fusion is really cool too.
And those types of things that Noelle is mentioning, like incorporating some food from different cultures that people may not know how to cook with, it's a great conversation starter.
Yeah.
So you're inviting people over to enjoy this board, and immediately they're going to say, hey, what's that? You know, what does that taste like? Oh my gosh, that looks so cool.
Yeah.
These are things that you want them to be saying because all of a sudden conversation is started and your party has gotten going.
And it'll keep going when you say, oh, try that and that together.
Yes.
Take that cracker and put some cheese and then a little bit of the jam and then, you know, try a raw apple slice. Yeah. So all the flavor combinations, you can have a game who can come up with the best bite.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, and we don't have any, like for Thanksgiving and Christmas, you know, we had boards scheduled. We don't, at this point, we don't have any boards scheduled as far as specials that we're doing orders for at Sassool, but this isn't the last time you'll see boards. We love what we've been doing, utilizing our market section and our fresh case to make these great visual creations. And I am sure even if you guys don't do it at home, you will see it back at the restaurant at some point. Yeah. Because of course there's always holidays throughout the year. They have been one of the most popular like pre-ordered items that we do.
And we've been talking about adding it to the catering menu just because it's been so crazy popular.
Yeah. Yep.
Now there are a couple of questions. One says, hey ladies, is charcuterie the same as antipasta?
So yes, it is. But charcuterie, of course, on antipasto, it's just the meal eaten before the main meal. So charcuterie could be eaten for the main meal, but often it's the same components. So it's the cured meats, the cheeses, the marinated vegetables. I think one term, antipasto, is just more specific as far as timing. Charcuterie is that general, like I'm talking about the big group of food. That includes the salami, the cheeses, all of that stuff.
And then I actually have a question which kind of piggybacks on this question. It says, what do you use as a board? I mean, can you use anything? Does it have to be a wooden board?
You know, you can use anything. You can use, like at my house, I don't have like cutting boards or anything like that. I do have a cutting board, but I use it to prep on. I don't use it as like a display. Simone has a lot of like pieces because she does a lot more hosting at her house than I do. But so I just build it on dinner plates. Like you can do a dinner plate may serve 2 to 3 people, you know, because you're piling it. It's totally full. Or really, you know, whatever you can, because you guys see here, the food has completely covered. Yeah. So you could just use your cutting board, you know, and build it on top of that. They're not seeing the board. Yeah. So you can do it on anything.
For large boards, one of my favorite items to put, you know, to create this board on is a beverage tray. So one that you would bring in the wine and the wine glasses. Well, you know, put the wine and the wine glasses on the table ahead of time and use that beverage tray because 1, it's great and simple to carry because it has handles most of the time. 2, it has a lip on the tray. So it already keeps those ingredients tight in that space for you. You don't have to think a lot. They can roll and they're not going anywhere.
And creating different heights of your board is also really fun. So some people have those like they're for like tea parties. They're like the 3-tiered
Yes.
dishes. But you can also just take, you know, your big cutting board that you have at home and put a plate on top of it. And then you have like 2 levels. And that also makes the boards look even more refined, you know, when you've really done nothing.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, open your cabinets.
You've got plenty.
Anything you have ever put food on, go ahead and use that as a board.
And if you don't have a board at all, you can even just put plastic wrap down on your table.
Yes.
And just build it directly on the table. That's really fun for dinner parties, especially, is if you just put plastic wrap down on your table and build it directly on the table, and then everybody can just reach and eat with their hands, like we've been talking about.
And a simple cleanup. And no one is going to make any comment about why is your food on the table, because they're going to be busy
They might.
snacking. And some of the most elaborate and beautiful like board setups that I've seen are not on a board at all. It's just like what Noelle said, where they either do wax paper or plastic wrap, and then just lay all those components down, and people will eat, you know, all along a farm table or something. And the food is just extended from end to end.
Yeah.
And
I've been seeing that a lot on Instagram, like,
you
know, wedding rehearsal dinners or these like fancy events, like 50th birthday parties, where they'll have a caterer come in and they'll just build this huge board on a table.
Yeah, and it's quite amazing.
It is. It looks so good because when you have that big of a space, you can really, really get creative, and you can use like whole pineapples or you know, use the really big pieces that, you know, we're trying to save space here so that everything fits, but you don't have to do that when using such a big surface.
Right. And also, just last note of an idea as far as your board, if you have one of those old maids, you know, is that what it's called, the thing that moves?
Lazy Susan.
Oh my gosh.
Lazy Susan.
Lazy Susan. Sorry, I don't have a lazy
old maid.
An old maid is a card game.
A Lazy Susan. If you have a Lazy Susan, use that as your board because then it rotates.
Those are so cool.
And people have better access to it, to the items on the
What
board.
are they actually used for?
I think it used to be used for condiments or like a fruit bowl in the middle is what I see a lot of people put on their Lazy Susan. Lazy Susans are old maids now, but you know, use them as boards and they will revive. New life. Yeah, give them new life.
And there was another question. Does Sassool sell either the large or smaller boards? Do you guys sell boards at all?
Like the actual like serving trays, or like for catering, like selling it pre-made?
I think the tray is I think the tray. If it's the tray, we don't offer the trays right now. We have a few pieces like bowls and small, what are they called? Like
ramekins?
Little ramekins made of olive wood that look awesome, and they could go on a board.
Right.
We do offer that here. However, we don't sell the cutting boards, and this is just because like we've thought about doing that. But with them being so accessible from everywhere that you go,
Target,
Walmart, home stores,
at home store,
Amazon, we felt like it was just a little bit of overkill, and that, you know, maybe people would come and buy some, but it's also super easy just to click and pick those things out. You know?
Or just go to a thrift store. They usually have so many good like glass pieces for cheap at a thrift store. You could really find something that would be spectacular for a party or for
lots of personality. Yeah. So no, we don't have the boards. And if the question was talking about like the assembled ones, at this point we don't offer the assembled ones. However, if you're having a catering and you want us to put one together, I'm the catering director. Just email me, Simone at Sassool.com.
Yeah.
There is no trouble in putting a board together for you.
We can do that. Happen.
Yeah. And it'll look great. And in the future, we are thinking of putting, adding pricing for boards just on the catering menu.
Yeah.
Okay, what wine would you recommend to go with those boards that you just made?
Ooh, I'll give my recommendation, then you can give your recommendation.
Okay.
So, I love a good Sauvignon Blanc. I think it has a really crisp, clean taste, and between the fruit, the vegetables, the pickled items. Having that kind of like clean tasting, light wine is perfect for as far as what I would really enjoy.
Right. And I would agree with what you said. Just having like a wine that isn't too strong or to have such like a sweet flavor or strong flavor. So you can let the food shine, and it's not like every time you take a sip, you're just being washed over, you know, with that strong flavor. I like red wine better, so I would recommend like a nice cab, something that's not too sweet or not too dry, and that would pair really well as well.
Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, Simone, that dinner that you made with me at the beginning, that would be great as leftovers on a board, correct?
It would be. That's right. Yeah, I made a chicken marinara. The chicken was crusted with semolina. I made these roasted vegetables. The baby corn that I used, baby corn would absolutely make its appearance over here. Maybe instead of the cucumbers too, because it's a great dipper. Yeah, I mean, all of the pieces. And to be honest, I had some leftovers, and those leftovers ended up becoming a platter. I think I was in a rush. It didn't make an Instagram shot of a board, but I did use all the leftover components and put them together, and then my husband and I snacked on a Saturday night. So you know, it's the way to do it.
I think you can do that with most leftovers. Like, you know, if you made chili and then you're just like so sick of eating bowls of chili, you could do a chili board, you know, and do some cheese, sour cream, the different crackers to eat the chili with.
Yes.
So I mean, it's just, you know, get creative. I really think anybody could look in their fridge right now and make a board out of something that they have.
That's right.
Okay. This is a question I'm actually going to answer. Do you have a list of the ingredients that you sell that you use today? Yes. If you'll check on the blog afterwards, once they get their pictures taken and send it to me, I'll have everything listed and where you can buy it at Sassool, and have all the locations listed as well, because Simone's already went ahead and sent me all that stuff.
Oh yeah, always prepared.
So tell us a little bit more about Sassool for those that don't know about Sassool.
Go ahead. Okay. So it is a family-owned business. My dad and my sister and I, we started it in 2011 at our North Raleigh location. And then 3 years later, we opened up our Cary location, which is off of Kildare Farm Road. And we've been working together. So my dad was with Neiman, and we split off in 2011 and became Sassool. But like we mentioned earlier, Simone and I have been working with my dad since we were kids, really, but really on the schedule since when we turned like 15, 16. We've been working full time with him. And we sell fresh, healthy Mediterranean cuisine. It's kind of deli style. If you haven't been to Sassool before, that when you walk in, you'll see our deli cases.
Huge variety.
Yeah, we've got like 40 to 50 different items out at all times, and it's all fresh, healthy. If you have any food allergies or any special diet that you're on, if you're vegan, gluten-free, you will have no problem finding something here at all.
And everything, we try to keep that in mind and be very mindful of those that want to know what's in their food and those that have food allergies or restrictions. We have everything marked on labels that go in front of the case. You don't just see the name of the item, but you see every single ingredient that we use. You see if it has nuts, dairy, gluten, eggs.
We're very transparent about how we make the food.
Yeah.
We even share recipes a lot of times. If you search like Sassool recipes, I'm sure you'll find at least 10 online.
Right. Yeah.
But we get produce from the farmers market, and we make everything in small batches throughout the day. So when you come in and you see our deli case, you will know that salad you're seeing that's in the crock about this big, it was made maybe 30 minutes ago at the most. It's everything is made so fresh.
That's right. And we also have, in both locations, we have a beautiful market section that carries all of the components that, except for fresh produce. We don't have fresh produce, but it carries the components that we use in our recipes, such as extra virgin olive oil, tahini,
rice,
all
lentils,
of the spices.
Right.
So that those that want to cook at home, just like we're trying to challenge you today to make your own board, you can come here and find those items. You may also find the same ingredients that are in some of our salads, which are really cool. But yeah, I mean, at Sassool, we keep things very simply flavored. Everything has a lot of produce and vegetables and color in it. And we're really mimicking the way that my grandmother Sassool cooked at home, cooked for my dad. And we're kind of living that tradition. And it's super rewarding being the two ladies that get to carry that out and continue the tradition. But it's also just as rewarding seeing how many customers we have that truly appreciate the healthy, fresh variety, and they count on it for eating their meals often at Sassool. You know, we're the kind of restaurant that you could eat 4 times a week and you don't feel guilty.
Yeah, you won't get sick of it at all. And we see people, honestly, we have customers that we see every single day.
Yeah. A few that come twice a day.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I don't say that to embarrass them because I hope they're watching right now.
Yeah.
I love them.
I love it.
It's amazing. That's how we eat.
Yeah.
I mean, we eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner here.
I mean, me and Simone work like 12-hour shifts. Yeah. So we'll get here at 9 and we'll leave at 8. That's all the meals in the day. Yeah. So we eat Sassool 3 times a day, at least 5 days a week.
So we can tell you with full conviction, you will not get tired of it because we're even taking food home for our days off.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just it's that great kind of healthy, fresh food that makes you feel good after you eat it.
Mm-hmm.
And you have an event coming up, correct?
We do. Yeah, we have a hybrid cooking class that is going to be a dinner experience as well. We are, of course, trying to be mindful of the continuing pandemic.
Yep.
So we're keeping everything socially distanced, and it's going to be a relatively small event. Only 16 people there.
Only 16 tickets
That's
for the
right.
in-person portion of the event.
Yes, we will also stream it live virtually for the dinner portion.
Mm-hmm.
But what is extra special about this event? One, it's a cooking class for that hour of the main meal. But prior to the main meal, we're going to have an extended cocktail hour, kind of like our mezza that we do in Lebanon. And all of the appetizers will be cooked over the fire. So we're going to have several different fire pits, fire oven. They will be making all of the appetizers live as people mingle and, have a glass of wine or a bottle of beer. And they'll be able to eat the appetizers right off the flames, giving it a few seconds to cool down.
And if you guys ever wanted to meet the whole family is going to be there making this event happen.
It is going to be a very big production as far as the people making it happen.
Yes. So our dad will be there. He'll be making the mini pizzettes. We're doing za'atar pizzettes as well as cheese pizzettes right on a live fire. Simone's husband is going to be there grilling kebabs on the fire, making the eggplant roll-ups over the fire. And then, like she said, as they're ready, we're going to be passing them out to the different tables.
That's right. We'll have Mediterranean Lebanese music. We will have a belly dancer. It will be an outdoor event, so we get that nice fresh air and a beautiful alfresco eating style. It's just going to be a great time.
It's going to be so fun. So fun. I'm excited to host it. This is one of the events that I'm the most excited about because it's going to be such a special experience. And we're bringing stuff that we love to do. Like, we love cooking on the fire. And we're sharing it with, our community with 16 people. So, and we already have sold 9 tickets. So they're over halfway sold. So if it sounds fun, definitely look into it soon.
That's right. It's a great Mother's Day gift.
Oh, yes.
Whether you want to take your mother or just give it to your mother to go with your dad. It's going to be something like
something you've never seen.
That's right.
And then, like she mentioned, when it actually gets to be the dinner portion, it'll be a live cooking class done by Simone that we will be streaming virtually, much like this that we're doing right now. So you can also watch it online for free.
Yeah, you can attend virtually
the dinner portion of the event.
That's right. And where we're hosting it, so the owner of Chini is an Indian takeout spot. She has 2 locations. The woman's name is Preeti. She's amazing. She's so hospitable. When we met her, it was like we were meeting someone from our family. She was so enthusiastic about food and community. And so she has an outdoor venue, which is where we will be holding it. So I know if people go to our Eventbrite, the event location online, they're going to wonder, what's Chini? Well, Chini is her outdoor venue where she's hosting us.
And it's in North Raleigh. It's very close to the Sassool North Raleigh location.
That's right.
And when you purchase the ticket, we'll be sending you that address as it gets closer to the date. We are very excited.
Very excited. And it will end up on social media. So you guys will see everything. Of course, if you don't attend, we plan, if this one is successful, we plan to do several of these kinds of events in the future. But you will see a glimpse of what what everything looked like, because we'll have all pictures.
And the ticket does include, wine and beer. But if you are not an alcohol drinker, we do have a coupon code for people that don't drink alcohol. It takes $10 off the price of the ticket. So just message us and let us know. We can hook you up with that.
Yeah.
Okay, Kristen said, I know this is especially for Simone. Zane is asking if Toby will be belly dancing.
I'm sure if he is challenged, he will be the star of the show. Yes, my husband has a big personality, and anytime he's challenged to do anything, he never lets it down. But he's not the primary belly dancer. I hope
there's a professional coming.
Yes, there is a professional.
Toby may join in, but you have to buy tickets to find out.
That's right, and maybe Noelle and I will also do a little belly dancing as well. So.
Now, which location, if people are going to Sassool for the first time, which one would you say you would prefer for them to go to? Both of them, or
either one?
Yeah, both locations have the exact same thing.
Yes, same menu. The food is consistent. That's something that we're very passionate about, is making sure that you get the same experience at Sassool Cary as you do at Sassool Raleigh. So the hummus, everything tastes the same. We've worked really hard on that. Honestly, it's been a passion project since Sassool Cary opened.
But both have big dining rooms.
Both have the market section.
That's right. Both do catering if you're interested in catering. Both locations do catering from it. Really, just whichever one is closer to you, because Sassool is such a kind of lifestyle restaurant where you can eat it multiple times during your week. Wherever it's most convenient for you is where we want you to get in the habit of going.
Yeah, make it part of your life.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I was asking, is like, because a lot of people don't like to be cluttered and like to be clustered. So is there a certain time that you suggest if they don't want to be like in a crowd to go?
If you're trying to avoid the rush, either come before 11 or between 2 and 5.
And you can always do takeout. So
we offer curbside.
Yeah, one great thing about our concept is, of course, you can get individual plates, but you also have the option of getting the 8-ounce, 16-ounce, or 32-ounce containers of your bulk salads that you can pick up at any time of the day and then take home and serve, on your dinner table. That's one thing I do so that I can kind of meal prep without any stress. I just take home 32-ounce things, and then I will divvy it up for each day. I'll have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I guess if you guys don't know, I'm at home with a baby right now, so having those healthy fresh salads in the deli containers has been a lifesaver.
Yes, and we do online ordering, and we've worked really hard to make sure that it is intuitive and easy to use. And you can do online ordering and then just come straight to the cashier, and we'll have your food at the cash register ready to go. So it limits the amount of time that you're in the store. Or like I said, you can just call and say, hey, I'm outside. Can you bring it to my car? We're happy to do that.
Yep.
Now, can they get the stuff that's in the marketplace online too? Online ordering, or call in, or do they have to physically go in and pick those up?
You don't have to physically go in, but it's not online. So you would need to call it in.
Yeah, and typically, an employee will walk through the market and just kind of shop for you as you're on the
just
phone.
like they do in the grocery store.
Yeah.
Yeah. But of course, you can call it in, and that can be part of your curbside order.
Absolutely.
Okay, so tell people where they can find you guys on social media.
So we are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and what else? Well, I think those are the three main ones. Yeah. We also have a Pinterest, but honestly, I have not updated it in a while. But Sassool Cafe on Instagram is our handle. For Facebook, our Raleigh location is Sassool, and then the Cary location is Sassool Cafe.
And we're very active on Instagram and Facebook.
That's right.
Simone, like she said, is at home with her baby. So she has taken on a lot of our marketing, and she posts videos on there showing you how to make different ingredients. You post like one a week at least.
That's right. Yep.
Yes.
Where you can use our market items to make something simple and easy at home. So you'll see a lot of that on Instagram and Facebook. And then my mom actually runs our Twitter. She does an awesome job.
Yes.
And that one is Sassool Cafe as well.
Well, girls, I want to thank you so much for coming on and teaching us how to do the charcuterie boards. And I love the olive oil and the Parmesan cheese, even though you did get kind of heavy-handed the last time.
It's okay. It's okay. That's
But I
right.
gotta know, I had one question. Who's going to be eating those now?
We're taking it into the kitchen, and all of the staff is going to eat it after their shift.
Our team will love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know last time Simone said the camera people have to eat.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Today we have our camera on a tripod. So
yeah, we're filming in store
Yes.
right now. We're in a storage closet.
we wanted to avoid the noise because during lunch rush at 12:30.
Yeah, the phone is ringing
The
like
phone,
crazy.
it gets very loud.
Yeah.
So we kind of put ourselves into a little nook. But yeah, we will be taking this and sharing it with the staff after their shift is done.
They'll be so excited.
Yeah, they will be very excited.
Well, ladies, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. And
Thank you.
Thank you
look absolutely delicious. I can't wait to get the finished product pictures now. So we can shoot that email out to everybody.
Right to you, and thank you so much for having us on your chats from the blog cabin. It's an honor.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. So, guys, we will see you on the next chat from the blog cabin. Bye.